Hi, Les from Retired and Living the Dream. Another walk to Redcar, another video. I'm in my last week now here in Redcar, then I fly home a week today that I've been making this video. So some people ask me how much it costs for flights to get here and to get back. What's the best way to do it? Any tips or tricks and things like that? And yes, I've got a few, because I've travelled all over the world on different planes and things like that, and different ways of doing it. There are some tips and hints that I can give you, and we'll start off with the app that I use, and that's Skyscanner. I've used the Kayak, I've used the Trivago and things like that, and Google Flights, stuff like that. But I always come back to Skyscanner. Skyscanner is the much easier app to use, and I find it 9 times out of 10 cheaper than anywhere else. So Skyscanner, have a look on that, and it gives you various options of when you can go. It's got loads of little settings on it and filters that you can use, and it's good. I'd recommend Skyscanner. So the cost of my flights. When I came over here, I didn't know how long I was going to stop here. It might have been 3 months, it might have been 6, it might have been 9 months. So I only booked a one-way flight back to the UK, with the intentions of booking another flight back as and when I'm going to go back. As it was, it's been here. I've been here now 9 weeks, so I'll be 9.5 weeks by the time I go back home to Thailand. So when did I book the return flight? I booked the return flight a week and a half after I got here, because I had to apply for various visas, which I'll go into another video about that, because I'm on the marriage visa. So the flight itself, the flight that I got from Thailand to the UK, now I've done many ways of doing that from Thailand to the UK. I've done direct flights with Thai Airways, and that goes from Suvarnabhumi, Bangkok to London, and that's 12 hours 30 to 12 hours 45 minutes. It's a big long flight. And I've done others where you stop off halfway at Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Doha, and I've got to say, out doing the long haul flights, I prefer that method, doing the stopover. For instance, when I came here, we stopped at Abu Dhabi, and we got off the plane, an hour and a half to walk to the next plane. That gives you that good long stretch, and it's 7 hours and 7 hours almost for each flight. Although it's longer, it doesn't feel as long, because by the time you get off, you're stretching your legs, you're sort of awakened again, and then you get back on the plane, then you have some food, and it just passes the time, I think, more quickly than because you're wide awake again. You watch a movie, and before you knew it, like 2 to 3 hours of the flight has just gone. So that's my personal preference, what I'm going to do. So the prices, I paid £340 for the flight from Thailand to London. Now I live up on the northeast coast, Redcar, so why didn't I fly into Newcastle? I'll tell you the reason in a minute. So my flight back to Thailand, I'm going to do the same thing, flying from Stansted Airport. I landed in Gatwick, but I'm flying back from Stansted, and I'll explain the reasons why I fly from London as opposed to Newcastle in a minute. So the price of that one was £360. The longest time you get to book it before it, the price is a little bit more, in your favour, because they're a lower price. And the sooner you get there, like if you leave the flight to the last minute, then it can become much more expensive. But I paid £360 for my flight, and I've looked on the internet today, and it's only gone up £8, but some other comparative flights have gone up more. So £8 isn't a lot to pay for a week's notice. So I'm happy with that, 360. So 340 to get here, 360 to go back. Now why did I fly from London as opposed to Newcastle? Because looking at various options, flying from London, Newcastle back to Thailand and vice versa from Thailand to Newcastle, on each flight it ranged between 150 and 200 pounds more expensive to fly to Newcastle. And then a taxi from Newcastle to Redcar is about 90 pounds. So round it up to like 100 quid. So at the cheapest it's 250, at the most expensive it's 300 quid more expensive than flying from London. Now I've got rail travel from King's Cross to Redcar by train. It took 3.5 hours, one stop, and that cost me 45 quid. Beautiful, nice travelling on the train, going through the countryside, 3.5 hours. Now I'm flying from Stansted, going back to Thailand, so I've got to get to Stansted Airport. Now that's going to take 4.5 hours. It's a little bit longer. Again, only 2 stops by train, and because I booked the train well in advance, as soon as I booked my flight ticket, I bought the train ticket, so I got it for £48 to travel all the way down to Stansted Airport. Again, 4.5 hours, 3.5 hours longer than it takes to get to Newcastle Airport, but that's the beauty of being retired. You can just catch a train, catch a bus or whatever at your convenience. Now, as I say, some people will say, well, London's a long way. It is a long way, but when you're saving in the regions of a couple of hundred quid, so it might take you another 2 or 3 hours longer. But for me, I'm in no rush. I can get there, and what I always do is, my flight is an evening flight at 9 o'clock in the evening, so I've got all day to get there. So if the train is delayed or the train broken down or stuff like that, I've allowed myself 5 hours at the airport, so I've got time to catch that flight. So my train sets off from Redcar at 11 minutes past 11, and I get down into the airport at 5 o'clock or just before 5 o'clock, and the plane takes off at 9:05. So that's the way I've done it. I thought I'll do that option, cheapest, and by doing that it gets me a day out as well, and I enjoy it. I enjoy travelling, and travelling on the train nowadays is very comfortable. Now if I'd have hired a car and gone down there, how many times has the crashes, I've done that before, hired a car, gone down to London, and there's been accidents. And the last time I did it, I hired a car, because when I came back, quite a few years ago, hired a car from Gatwick up to Redcar, then back to Gatwick. I was only here for just over a week and a half, and it was more expensive to drop the car off and hire another one to get down to the airport. So I just hired the same car, took it back to the airport, thinking I had 4 or 5 hours, and I didn't. I had 30 minutes. So, hints, tips and tricks. Do that. Book in advance as far as you can. Look for alternative transport. When I flew back the last time from Newcastle to Thailand, it was 90 quid for a taxi, but I managed to get the train up to Newcastle for a £5. The train from Newcastle to the airport on the metro was £3.50, and I got a travel lodge for the night, so I went up the night before. I always like to make sure I've got plenty of time, because miss that flight, you're in a whole trouble of pain. So it's 27 quid, plus it's just over a £5 and £3.50, cheaper than the taxi fare. And I had a night out in Newcastle before I left as well. So that's my little hints and tips about flying and travel. And so Skyscanner, if you've got any comments, leave your comments down below. Thanks very much for watching. Until the next time, bye for now.